In a world obsessed with overnight fame and flashy headlines, few stories cut through the noise quite like that of Iam Tongi, a soft-spoken teenager from Hawaii whose raw voice and deeper pain stunned the nation. Born into a modest family on the north shore of Oahu, Tongi's early life was defined not by privilege, but by passion and sacrifice. When the cost of island life forced his family to leave the only home they'd ever known, they didn't just leave paradise behind, they carried their dreams to the mainland, with nothing but faith and a few cherished instruments. But no one, not even his fiercely devoted mother, could have predicted that within just a few years, Iam would capture the hearts of millions, not through spectacle, but through soul. In 2023, Tongi's haunting audition on American Idol, dedicated to his late father, didn't just earn him a golden ticket, it launched him into global consciousness. His teary-eyed rendition of Monsters by James Blunt became more than a tribute. It was a public moment of grief, strength, and resilience, watched by millions and remembered by all. And from that raw emotional debut, a star was born. Not the polished pop idol kind, but something more rare. A voice that feels like it comes from someplace deeper. Now, with an estimated net worth reaching $20 million, multiple properties rumored to rival celebrity royalty, and a loyal online fan base dubbed the Monsters, the once unknown teenager from Kahuku has become a cultural force. But as the spotlight brings brighter, so do the questions. Who is Iam Tongi beyond the music? What kind of life does a voice like his buy? And how does a young artist remain grounded in a world that rewards ego more than authenticity? This is the story of a boy who turned heartbreak into harmony, a story of rising fame, luxury, and purpose, and what really lies behind the curtain of Iam Tongi's extraordinary world.
Long before the stadium crowds and flashing cameras, Iam Tongi was simply William Guy Tongi, a wide-eyed boy growing up among the salt-soaked winds and towering palms of Kahuku, a coastal town on Oahu's northern edge. Born on September 1, 2004, his earliest memories were steeped in melody. In a modest home filled with laughter and song, music wasn't a hobby, it was heritage. With Polynesian blood running deep, Tongan, Samoan, and Irish roots woven into his identity, Iam's cultural upbringing shaped not just who he was, but how he would eventually sound. From traditional island hymns to soulful reggae and American pop, his world was a mixtape of emotion and rhythm. But while the beauty of the islands nurtured his spirit, reality was never far away. As the cost of living in Hawaii spiraled, the Tongi family made a painful decision in 2019: leave the land they loved for a better shot at stability. They moved to Federal Way, Washington, trading warm beaches for gray skies and a fresh start. For Iam, just 15 at the time, it was a shift that echoed louder than most adolescent milestones. Leaving Hawaii was like leaving a part of myself, he later reflected in interviews, acknowledging the internal tug between home and opportunity. At the center of Iam's story, one figure looms larger than life: his late father, Rodney Tongi. A man of quiet strength and musical talent, Rodney wasn't just a dad, he was Iam's first fan. With calloused fingers and a keen ear, he passed down more than melodies, he passed down belief. That belief took shape in the form of a guitar, bought with a holiday paycheck when Iam was just 13. A simple gesture perhaps, but one that would become sacred. That guitar, worn and deeply personal, became his son's anchor in a world that would soon become overwhelming. And behind every rehearsal, every performance, stood Iam's mother, Lily Niu Tongi. Balancing airline work with motherhood, she cultivated a home steeped in faith and music. With 4 older siblings, Larad, Sitaleki, Jennifer, and Cassandra, Iam grew up surrounded by love and legacy. Their shared membership in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints gave him moral grounding, while his Polynesian identity instilled pride and perseverance. Life was far from simple. Diagnosed with ADHD, Iam struggled in the classroom, often distracted and overwhelmed. But music gave him a focus school never could. Introduced to the ukulele in the 5th grade by a caring teacher, Iam finally found a channel, a way to communicate what words couldn't. By his teens, he was already sharing original songs on YouTube, his voice still forming, but his emotion unmistakable. These early years were not just a prelude, they were a blueprint. Every hardship, every lesson would soon echo through his songs. And as we move closer to the moment that changed everything, the question becomes, how did this quiet kid from Kahuku transform into the most talked about name on American Idol? For Iam Tongi, the climb toward stardom was always tethered to something deeper: grief. Behind the warm smile and soulful voice lies a heartbreak that shaped his identity long before the spotlight ever found him. The loss of his father, Rodney Tongi, in December 2021 wasn't just a personal tragedy, it was the emotional engine that would power the most unforgettable audition in American Idol history. Rodney wasn't a background figure in Iam's story, he was the foundation. A man of Tongan and Samoan descent, Rodney was himself a musician, an unpolished talent who saw in his youngest son not just promise, but purpose. That belief manifested most clearly in the form of a guitar, gifted to Iam when he was just 13. It wasn't flashy, it didn't come with expectations. It came from Rodney's holiday paycheck, a quiet sacrifice wrapped in unconditional love. From that moment on, the guitar became more than an instrument. It was a lifeline, a daily reminder that someone believed in him when the world hadn't yet looked his way. Rodney's health, however, was deteriorating. Diagnosed with stage 4 kidney disease, his strength faded, but his faith in Iam never did. As his condition worsened, he urged his son to chase music with everything he had. And then, just as Iam was preparing to face the biggest opportunity of his young life, Rodney passed away. He was only 50. The timing was brutal. Still reeling from his father's death, Iam was days away from his audition for season 21 of American Idol. Most aspiring stars might have backed away, too fragile to perform. But Iam stepped forward. When he took that stage in February 2023 and sang James Blunt's Monsters, he didn't just sing, he mourned. With tears slipping past his words and his father's guitar in hand, he delivered a performance so raw it left the judges speechless and the nation in tears. The guitar, that same gift from Rodney, broke during Hollywood Week, but the message behind it remained unshakable. Iam pressed on, leaning not on perfection, but presence. His ability to channel personal sorrow into public artistry became his trademark. Fans didn't just hear him, they felt him. Rodney's absence remains a visible part of Iam's journey, but far from a weakness, it's become a spiritual guidepost. Every note he sings, every story he tells carries Rodney's shadow. It's this emotional depth that sets Iam apart, not as a manufactured star, but as a young man bearing the weight of legacy and turning pain into purpose. Up next, how that emotion sparked a global sensation and changed the course of his life forever.
When Iam Tongi walked onto the American Idol stage in early 2023, he wasn't just another hopeful chasing a dream. He was a grieving son armed with a voice and a memory. The judges didn't know his story yet. They hadn't seen the cracked guitar case or the weight behind his eyes, but from the moment he strummed the first chord of James Blunt's Monsters, the entire room shifted. What followed wasn't a performance, it was a eulogy set to music. The rawness in his voice, the tears that welled up but never stole his composure, the way he uttered the lyrics as though speaking directly to his late father, all of it made for a moment so powerful it transcended the show. Judges Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan didn't just applaud, they stood visibly shaken. Katy Perry was brought to tears. The audition video exploded online, garnering more than 16 million views on YouTube within 3 months. In just 48 hours, Iam gained over 112,000 new Instagram followers. But these were not just clicks and numbers, this was connection on a mass scale. Ironically, this wasn't his first attempt. Iam had auditioned for American Idol season 20 but failed to make it past the early rounds. He nearly gave up. It was his mother, Lily, who secretly signed him up for Hollywood Week. Tested him again. Iam lost his voice temporarily and broke his beloved guitar, the very one his father gave him. But instead of folding under pressure, he adjusted, adapted, and kept going. His authenticity never wavered. There were no gimmicks, no pretense, just pure talent and emotional truth. And then came the moment. In May 2023, after weeks of emotionally charged performances and public adoration, Iam Tongi was crowned the winner of American Idol Season 21. He wasn't just the first Hawaiian and Pacific Islander to win the competition, he was also the first non-country singer to take the title in 3 years. His victory came with a $250,000 prize, a record deal, and more importantly, validation from millions who saw themselves in his story. But winning the title was only the beginning. The question wasn't whether Iam could win over the nation, it was what he would do next now that the world was watching. In the wake of his American Idol victory, Iam Tongi didn't just ride the wave, he expanded it into a tidal surge of opportunity. With the crown still fresh and his fan base swelling by the hour, the young artist wasted no time proving he was more than just a reality show success. His debut single, I'll Be Seeing You, released just days before the finale, became an instant hit, striking a nerve with fans who had followed his emotional journey from the beginning. Blending his signature style of folk, Hawaiian soul, and contemporary pop, the track was both a tribute and a promise. This voice wasn't going anywhere. By the end of 2023, Iam had dropped his full-length debut album to critical acclaim. Reviewers praised its sincerity and emotional weight, while streaming numbers soared on platforms like Spotify and Apple Music. But Tongi's impact couldn't be measured in charts alone. It was felt in venues across the globe. His first world tour, launched just months after his win, sold out shows across North America, Europe, Asia, and Australia. Whether it was an intimate acoustic set or a roaring festival crowd, Iam delivered each performance with the same earnest vulnerability that had first won him the nation's heart. But the stage wasn't his only domain. As his music career climbed, so did his digital influence. By early 2024, Iam's TikTok account boasted over 1.5 million followers and 6.6 million likes, a staggering leap for an artist still new to the industry. Known for impromptu ukulele covers and heartfelt vlogs, Iam used social media not to flaunt fame, but to stay connected with the people who helped him achieve it. His fans, lovingly dubbed the Monsters, became a cultural force of their own, amplifying every post, every release, every tour date. Endorsement deals followed, but Iam remained selective. From fashion brands celebrating Polynesian culture to tech companies eager to align with his clean-cut image, his partnerships reflected a commitment to authenticity over flash. He also made headlines for a surprise collaboration with James Blunt, the very artist whose song had launched his career. Their duet, a reimagined version of Monsters, marked a full-circle moment that reminded audiences just how far Iam had come in such a short time.
With his music career soaring and global recognition secured, Iam Tongi has stepped into a new realm of success, one measured not just in applause, but in square footage. At just 20 years old, Tongi reportedly owns a trio of jaw-dropping properties, each reflecting a different chapter of his life. From the shores of Hawaii to the heart of Los Angeles and the quiet hills of Tennessee, his real estate portfolio reads like a guided tour through his evolution as both an artist and a young millionaire. First on the list is a $25 million stunner known as the Kahuku Oceanfront Palace, located just minutes from the small Hawaiian town where Iam was born. More than just a trophy home, this estate stands as a symbol of homecoming, a way to reclaim the island life his family once had to leave behind. Spanning over 10,000 square feet, the property fuses modern architecture with Polynesian artistry. Custom teak furniture, an ocean-facing infinity pool, and hand-woven decor inspired by native legends create a retreat that feels both luxurious and deeply personal. And with its private beach path, full-service spa wing, and open-air dining room, it's clear this isn't just a residence, it's a love letter to his roots. But island serenity isn't the only gear in Tongi's lifestyle. Across the Pacific, perched atop one of downtown LA's most exclusive towers, sits his $15 million skyline penthouse. This sleek, 6,500 square foot high-rise haven is every bit the modern superstar's playground. Floor-to-ceiling windows frame sweeping views of Hollywood and beyond, while a wraparound terrace hosts everything from red carpet after parties to quiet solo evenings. A heated infinity pool, a full outdoor kitchen, and private access through a biometric elevator reflect both security and status. Inside, marble floors, velvet accents, and a state-of-the-art media room offer a cinematic blend of taste and tech. And then, in a quieter corner of his empire, there's the Nashville Countryside Retreat, a sprawling $8 million estate nestled on 20 acres of Tennessee's rolling green. Here, Tongi finds creative refuge. A Southern-style mansion complete with wraparound porch, stone fireplace, and a pond stocked with fish offers a lifestyle far removed from paparazzi flashbulbs. With a media room for editing, a bunk room for visiting family, and a recording nook tucked beside the great room, this home seems designed for reflection and inspiration. Together, these three properties tell a cohesive story. Iam Tongi, the boy who left Hawaii out of necessity, has built a life where home is no longer a limitation. It's a canvas for legacy.
And while most 20-year-olds are learning how to rent their first apartment, Tongi is curating sanctuaries on 3 coasts.
If real estate reflects legacy, then Iam Tongi's garage is a showcase of speed, style, and sentiment. For an artist known for his emotional depth and island-born humility, his taste in automobiles offers a fascinating contrast: bold, bespoke, and unapologetically high-end. At just 20 years old, Tongi's car collection rivals that of industry veterans, a clear sign that the young star is embracing the spoils of his success without forgetting where he came from. Topping the list is a machine as rare as it is relentless, the Bugatti Chiron Supersport, valued at an astonishing $4.2 million. Tongi's version, custom painted in midnight black with Polynesian blue accents, is a rolling tribute to his heritage. The carbon fiber exterior and iconic horseshoe grille signal power, but it's what's under the hood that makes this hypercar legendary. An 8.0-liter W16 engine with 4 turbochargers launches the vehicle from 0 to 60 in just 2.4 seconds, maxing out at 273 miles per hour. Inside, the cockpit is fitted with hand-stitched leather and a Burmester sound system, perfect for previewing unreleased tracks. For Iam, this isn't just about horsepower, it's about presence. Then there's the Rolls-Royce Cullinan Black Badge, a $450,000 SUV that blends elegance with attitude. Outfitted in jet black with fiery orange pinstripes, this vehicle echoes Tongi's flair for understated dominance. The luxury continues inside with black leather seats, orange contrast stitching, and a starlight headliner that recreates a night sky, a subtle nod to those long, music-filled Hawaiian evenings. With a V12 engine and all-wheel drive, the Cullinan is more than a city cruiser, it's a mobile concert hall. For Tongi, it's the perfect mix of comfort and command, whether he's navigating Nashville back roads or arriving at a sold-out venue in LA. Rounding out the trio is the Ford Mustang Shelby GT500 convertible, a muscle-bound classic priced around $90,000. Painted cherry red with matte black stripes, this isn't just a showpiece, it's an experience. Underneath its sleek lines lies a supercharged 5.2-liter V8 engine delivering 760 horsepower. The convertible top makes it ideal for sun-soaked drives, and the throaty growl of the exhaust hints at the artist's more rebellious side. With Recaro seats, a B&O sound system, and digital dash cluster, this ride proves that power doesn't have to come at the cost of style. Together, these cars are more than transportation, they're expressions of identity. One pays tribute to roots, another celebrates status, and the last, a symbol of joy and freedom earned through pain, persistence, and performance.
Away from the spotlight and opulent trappings of fame, Iam Tongi remains a study in quiet discipline and deep devotion. At just 20 years old, he's become a household name, yet he's managed to shield his personal life from the noise of celebrity culture. While fans speculate about romances and relationships, the truth is far simpler and perhaps more admirable. As of 2024, Iam Tongi is reportedly single, choosing to focus not on dating or settling down, but on nurturing his craft and honoring the legacy that brought him here. At the heart of his world stands his mother, Lily Niu Tongi, the steadfast matriarch who has been by his side through every milestone. A constant presence in his interviews and social media posts, Lily isn't just Iam's emotional anchor, she's the force that kept his dreams alive after his father's passing. Whether it was encouraging him to re-audition for American Idol or managing the pressures of sudden fame, she's been the quiet engine behind his rise. Iam's siblings, Lerod, Sitaliki, Jennifer, and Cassandra, keep a lower profile, but their influence is undeniable. Raised in a tight-knit Polynesian household grounded in community and cultural pride, Iam credits his family for keeping him balanced amid a whirlwind career. Their bond, fortified through shared loss and collective triumph, continues to shape his music, imbuing it with warmth, unity, and sincerity. But his grounding extends beyond blood. As a devout member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Iam's spiritual life plays a central role in his decision-making. His values, resilience, humility, and service aren't just personal ideals, they guide his public persona and philanthropic endeavors. Despite the relentless demands of touring and media, Iam has expressed his intention to one day fulfill a full-time LDS mission, a personal goal that reflects both his commitment to faith and his desire to give back. In an industry often fueled by scandal and spectacle, Iam Tongi's life is refreshingly uncontroversial. Even when faced with skepticism during American Idol, when some critics suggested his emotional performances were designed for sympathy, Iam confronted the narrative head-on. "I wasn't trying to make people cry, I just wanted to honor my dad." That level of honesty disarmed critics and endeared him further to fans who sensed that, unlike many polished pop figures, Iam's authenticity wasn't strategic, it was second nature. His voice may have made him famous, but it's his values, family, faith, and sincerity that have made him beloved. And as his story continues to unfold, it's this grounding that may be his greatest strength of all.
For many artists, fame is a finish line. For Iam Tongi, it's a starting point, a platform to uplift others the way his community once uplifted him. Despite his rapid rise and newfound wealth, Tongi has remained laser-focused on one mission, using his influence to make a lasting difference. His philanthropic efforts aren't an afterthought or a PR checkbox. They're deeply rooted in his lived experiences, shaped by hardship, resilience, and a fierce sense of cultural responsibility. Through his self-funded charitable foundation, Tongi has turned personal challenges into collective purpose. One of his top priorities is education, especially for Pacific Islander youth who, like him, may have faced barriers growing up, whether financial, geographic, or emotional. He funds music programs in underserved schools and sponsors scholarships for students from Polynesian communities aiming to study the arts. These aren't just donations, they're lifelines, designed to keep creativity alive in places where it's often the first thing cut. Mental health is another focus. Having publicly shared his own struggle with ADHD, Tongi has become a vocal supporter of youth mental health awareness. His foundation partners with local clinics and advocacy groups to destigmatize therapy and promote access to care, especially in areas where such resources are scarce. To Iam, emotional well-being isn't just personal, it's foundational to growth, especially for young men in cultures where vulnerability is often discouraged. But perhaps the most profound aspect of his giving lies in cultural preservation. Tongi supports initiatives aimed at protecting native Hawaiian language, music, and customs. He's funded hula academies, contributed to documentary projects about island history, and even sponsors traditional arts festivals across Oahu and beyond. In doing so, he's not only honoring his ancestry, but ensuring that future generations feel the same pride in their heritage that shaped his journey. His religious convictions also guide his service. As a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Iam has spoken publicly about his dream to complete a full-time mission in the future. Though his touring schedule has delayed that timeline, his life already reflects that commitment. He participates in community service events, donates anonymously to families in need, and continues to tithe generously. Acts of quiet service that rarely make headlines but define his character. In an era when many celebrities build brands around excess, Iam Tongi is building his around impact. And for every sold-out show or luxury endorsement, he seems equally invested in asking a simple question: who can I help next?
In an age where fame often burns fast and fades even faster, Iam Tongi stands apart, not as a manufactured pop product, but as a genuine artist shaped by hardship, heart, and heritage. From the beaches of Kahuku to the finals of American Idol, from the echo of his father's guitar to the roar of sold-out arenas, Tongi's rise has been anything but ordinary. His story is not just about talent, it's about timing, truth, and the transformative power of music. At just 20 years old, his footprint stretches across continents and industries. He owns multi-million-dollar estates that span from tropical sanctuaries to urban penthouses, commands a car collection that rivals longtime celebrities, and influences a fan base so loyal they proudly call themselves the Monsters. His estimated net worth of $20 million may paint a picture of opulence, but underneath the luxury lies a remarkably grounded young man, one still tethered to the memory of a father who believed in him when no one else did. Yet for all the success he's achieved, Iam Tongi isn't slowing down. He's hinted at new music on the horizon, potential collaborations with major artists, and an expanded global tour that aims to reach audiences in places his voice hasn't touched yet. Industry insiders suggest he's in talks for a documentary, while fans speculate about surprise duets and upcoming award nominations. But what's most telling isn't what's ahead, it's what hasn't changed. Iam still speaks softly in interviews. He still posts ukulele covers on TikTok. And he still signs off every post with humility, as if fame hasn't quite caught up to him yet. His philanthropic work continues to grow, as does his influence in the Polynesian community. Parents name their children after him, schools play his audition in classrooms, and teenagers across the Pacific Islands now believe that their voices too can be heard beyond the ocean. For many, Iam Tongi has become more than a musician. He's a symbol of cultural pride, spiritual strength, and what it means to succeed without losing yourself in the process. In the end, it's not just the voice that sets him apart,
It's the story behind it. And as the next chapter begins to unfold, one thing is clear. Iam Tongi isn't just living the dream, he's redefining it.